we're here with Martin Montgomery after St Anthony's 3-2 defeat here at Bonnyton. Martin, can you talk us through that one, please?
You know where to start. Night and day for last week in terms of, you know, the effort and application for the boys. It was a game that we felt quite positive coming into, and I think, you know, up half time we came in 2-0 up, and you could see why. I think the disappointing thing for me is just in every department in the second half, we just the levels just weren't what they were in the first. You know, everything from the quality of our passing, our first touch, our decision making, everything that we'd done very, very well in the first half, the levels dropped in the second, and for me that was where it went wrong. You know, it's obviously a lot more hurtful and disappointing because, you know, we are where we are in the league, and the day was a massive game, as they all are, and you know, we get ourselves a 2-goal cushion, and we come in at half time and we talk about what it is that we need today. It's about game management, and in previous, you know, I've spoke about us doing that very well before, but the day we just didn't stand up to the challenges that we knew. I told them Bonnyton were going to come out at us, they were going to be physical, they were going to get in our faces, and we had to try and draw that out of the game by being composed on the ball, being willing to shift it left to right and retain possession. And I just felt as if we kind of came out in the second half, and they got in our faces, and we just didn't follow the instructions at half time. And then I think when they get the goal, it probably you know, makes it a wee bit worse in terms of is finding that wee bit of composure. And the goals are disappointing, they're cheap goals to lose, but to be honest with you, Martin, I'm absolutely gutted because I felt as if we came down and gave a really good account of ourselves and gave ourselves a really, really good chance to go in and win the game, and then to go for 2-0 up to 3-2 down at full times. Very, very tough.
And we're moving on to Craig Market, McKenna Park next week.
Yeah.
Another big match.
Yeah, and I talk every week about the games, you know, the opportunities and the chances running out, and we're now down to our last 3 games, and you know, I would say that we've left ourselves with a mountain to climb. That ship sailed a wee while ago. We knew how difficult it was, and how tough a task that we had, and we, every week that goes by and we don't pick up points, then that task becomes tougher. But the reality is we've got 3 games to go, and we've got 9 points to still go and play for, and we have to do our best to try and win as many of the 9 points as we possibly can. You know, you take the 9, we put ourselves onto 31 points, and who knows, that might be enough. But our fate's a wee bit in the hands of how other teams got on about us, and that wasn't a position we wanted to find ourselves in. But it's where we are, and we have to dust ourselves down and go in and get another really good week of training like we had this week there, and go out and hit the ground running next week at home against Craigmark, and then try and see if we can get ourselves into a good position in the game. We'll learn from the mistakes that we've made. And we try and see it out for 90 and not just turn up for 45, and that's all we can really do.
And how do you have to win the changing room after obviously the disappointment of last week's heavy defeat, and then this week it's a defeat, it's a different type of defeat,
aye,
but it still hurts just as bad.
Aye. Listen, it's difficult. It's something that I don't really know how to put it into words how you do it. You know what I mean? It's the bottom line is, and I've said this before, they're a good bunch of boys. You know, if you look at last week, you know, last week was very, very disappointing, and that was the first time I would really say that it was a performance that lacked a wee bit of heart and a wee bit of, you know, guile and desire, and that was apart from the scoreline, you know, such a heavy defeat at home, that was what made it more disappointing than anything else last week. And I actually made the decision not to come in, and normally we go in on a Monday night, we'll look at the game, we'll look at what went wrong, and I actually made the decision last week not to do that. For the simple fact is that we knew we had to try and lift the spirits a wee bit, and I didn't see the point in bringing the boys in and rinsing them for an hour, you know, and trying to start a week of positivity in that vein. So that was the decision we took last week. and we got a really good response off the boys in training. I have to admit, you know, tempo was brilliant, standards were brilliant, spirits and the vibe, it was all good. We carried that into Thursday, and I actually felt that we, you know, and we carried that into the game the day as well. I really do believe that, and as I say, that we just found ourselves faltering with our second half performance. Do you know what I mean? It's we knew what we were going to be up against in the second half, and the bottom line is we just didn't deal with it, and that's probably the crux of it. I can't really break it down any more than that. But you know, we'll do the same again. We'll get the boys in. We've told them the other noon. We'll remind them again that we'll still get 3 games to go. We'll still get 9 points to play for, and it's no over till it's over. So we'll be looking for responses and reactions again with some of the boys this week. But one thing I do believe is that they care. So we'll be looking for them to show us that during the week.
Magic. Cheers, Marty.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Pal,
cheers. Bye.
Let's go.